Hey friends, welcome back to weekly update number 11. Back in the studio today and excited to dive into a few exciting topics for you guys. So loving these weekly updates, just giving you guys an update on where we're headed, what we're doing at K&D, and our road to $1 billion in revenue by 2035. It's a fun time to be in the landscape industry. It's a fun time to be in the trades, guys. We are seeing a massive, massive movement of money, of capital, resources, and attention to the trades. Never before has there been a better time to be in the trades. So I just want to start off with that, just some gratitude. Quick housekeeping, some events coming up that I would highly encourage you all to attend. The event number 1 is going to be Leanscaper Financial Intensive, September 14th and 15th in Dallas, Texas. If you guys are interested in going to the Leanscaper event, shoot me an email right now. I will get you on the guest list for free. So hit me up. It's a $3,000 ticket event, but if you email me right now, I will get you in for free. Leanscaper, September 14th and 15th in Dallas, Texas. I'll be speaking there on Monday morning, and it'll be a great event. You're going to be immersed with AI and building out your financial plan. Now, it may not sound super sexy, right? Financial intensive. But I'm telling you guys, if there's one thing that you can do for your business going into the end of 2025, is to get your financial mindset, strategy, focus, and vision in alignment with your team and your leadership team. So that's happening. Immediately after that, Aspire Ignite annual conference is happening September 15th through the 17th. So I'm going to be jet setting directly back to Anaheim, California, to join my friends at the Aspire Ignite conference September 15th through the 17th. I'm speaking there on Tuesday the 15th. So I'll be speaking in Dallas on Monday. I'll be speaking in Anaheim on Tuesday, and I think I might be slated to speak again on Wednesday at Ignite. It's going to be an amazing couple days, as it always is. So if you are on the Aspire software or thinking about going on to it, this is a must-attend event, even if it's just a few of your team members. Again, if you guys want to attend this Aspire event, let me know. I got some strings I could pull. I got probably a couple comps that I could give out, but you got to get to me soon. Today, Friday, August 15th. Happy Friday, by the way, folks. Happy Friday. August 15th. Hit me up today or at least tomorrow. I'm sure when this goes live, I'm going to get a few people to hit me up. I'm going to run out of comps. Anyway, you can email me at justin@jwhitegroup.com, and we'll get you set up. The next event is going to be the Crest Next Summit. It's in Florida. Now, I don't have... I might get in trouble for this. I don't have permission to be even saying this event. This is an invite-only event. But if you guys want to come to this event, I'll keep the details to myself for now. But if you do want to look at battery-powered equipment, you're thinking about rolling it out, you want to shoot over to Florida on September. This is mid-September. Again, I'm not cleared to give out details, so I might get in trouble. But that's okay. That's why we're disruptors, right? But hit me up. You can get me on that email, and I'll get you connected with the Crest team to attend that event, the Crest Next Summit, where they're going to be debuting the Voyager all-robotic Level 5 autonomy. It's some cool shit, guys. Going directly after that into October is Equip. Equip, it's the biggest landscape equipment show in the world. We're going to see 25,000 landscapers come through the doors over the course of 3 days. It's October 21st through the 24th in Louisville, Kentucky. I will be also speaking there, and we'll see. It sounds like I may be on the main stage introducing someone super important. So stay tuned for more updates as that gets finalized. But I'm super excited to be in Louisville with my team and with the team at Equip. Big shout out to Chris Kaiser over there. He is doing an incredible job at this event. He's the general manager, CEO of this entire thing. And it's just an amazing event. So if you've never been to Equip in Louisville, Kentucky, where they have every piece of equipment you've ever dreamed of, this is kind of a must attend, at least once in your life. Finally, we've got Elevate coming in November 2nd through the 5th. Elevate is going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. I will be giving a talk on my signature topic called Sweat Equity. I'm really excited about this topic. I've got some big news coming out around this whole idea of sweat equity. And if you guys want to know what sweat equity is, well, come to Elevate in Phoenix, November. Wow. Come to Elevate November 2nd through the 5th. again, if you guys want to attend Elevate, now Quip is like $25 a pop to get in. If you want to attend Elevate, I might have a few comps there left over. So again, any of this stuff you guys are thinking about coming, shoot me an email. I can usually get you guys in at a discounted rate, potentially comp. Just got to get at me quick, because those are going to get taken up. Okay, enough housekeeping. Let's jump into some topics that I wanted to talk about today. So over the last week, since I talked to you guys on Friday, I was at the lake. It was an incredible trip, just a great time to disconnect from technology, be immersed with nature as much as possible. Like I'm in a $100,000 wakeboarding boat, enjoying, loud music and whatever. But it was just an amazing time to spend with friends, spend it on the lake, and just kind of reset. I needed that. Well, I come back and I need to get my plane. I've got a little Grumman Tiger that I fly around, and I need to get it to Texas to get some work done on it. We got some specialty fiberglass work and some cosmetic stuff that I need to get done. And there's really only one place to do it, and they're in Fredericksburg, Texas, which is like an hour north of San Antonio. So I come back on Sunday night from the lake, tired from the sun, get a good night's rest, wake up on Monday morning and hit the sky. And I flew 5.5 hours from Santa Cruz, California, out to Tucson, Arizona. So like the very southwest or southeast corner of Arizona, right next to the Mexican border. Land in Tucson, and I post something on my story that I'm in Tucson, and my cousin immediately hits me up. He's like, dude, I live in Tucson. I was like, oh, that's right. He used to live in Phoenix. So he came and picked me up. We had a good time and just hung out over there in Tucson. Got a good rest, and the next morning woke up at 5 and hit the sky again at 6 a.m. And the trouble is I'm flying from Tucson, Arizona to the middle of Texas. Well, Tucson is on, basically Mountain Time or Pacific Time. It's the same time right now. And then Texas time is 2 hours, basically earlier or later, however you want to say that. But I'm losing 2 hours on this flight. So I leave at 6 a.m., and I've got a 6-hour flight ahead of myself. I have a fuel stop, and then I finish up getting into Texas, and I land. And as I'm coming in, the thunderstorms are cracking off. Like I'm hearing on the radio, convective segments. And if you guys know what that means, basically like significant weather alerts are happening all around me. To the north, and Dallas is getting hammered. To the south, and San Antonio is getting hammered, and everything's kind of closing in. But I have this perfect little gap between me and the airport that I'm flying to, and luckily the weather held off long enough. Because if at that point when the weather fires off, you pretty much just have to land the plane in some middle of nowhere airport, and you're just hunkered down for the day and the night probably until the next morning when the weather cools off and you can get back up in the air. So little planes, even big planes, you'll probably hear. Southwest jets have to fly around thunderstorms, especially when the tops are over 37,000 feet, because you can't fly over it and you really don't want to fly through it. So a little plane like mine, we're not flying through no thunderstorms. We're not flying under them either. So luckily the storms held off long enough. I got in, landed at this little private airstrip in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Just a great time, super fun. I kind of pull up and, there's not really any radio communication with this private FBO that I'm going to, this mechanic shop, and their phones had been down. So I'm flying in blind, and I just like pull up in the plane, get out, and they're like, oh, Justin, we thought you might be coming in, but we weren't sure. And it was just such a funny welcoming party because, here I am flying in from California, 12 hours of airtime, and you just kind of pull up in a plane in the middle of nowhere. And it was just such a fun, freeing feeling to do that. And, what it reminded me of is oftentimes as we go through life, we end up with this set mindset of like what we're capable of, what we're able to do. And just that process of getting my pilot's license and now flying a plane halfway across the country solo just made me realize like we're never really done. And there's always another adventure ahead of us as long as we're open-minded enough and say yes enough to take on those adventures. And when you look at some of these very wealthy individuals like Jeff Bezos, like he's always doing some new crazy thing, like trying to fly to space or something else. And it made me realize it's our day-to-day that can sometimes get in the way of our dreams and aspirations. It's that day-to-day grind that can sometimes pull us off the track of maybe that vision that we once had when we were younger. So, I'm just super grateful to be able to do this, and big shout out to my team at K&D for holding it down as I was traveling over the course of the last week. And just, it's an incredible feeling to be traveling around and doing those kind of things. So I just want to encourage you guys, if there's something out there that you want to do, maybe you haven't been backpacking for 10 years and you've always gone backpacking, and then life got in the way and it's been 10 years since your last backpacking trip, or you've always, gone camping with your family, or maybe it's that golf trip with your friends that you used to do, and maybe that's fallen off. I mean, let this be your catalyst to get that stuff back on the calendar. And you know what's interesting is if you put it on the calendar for next year, even if it's spring of next year, March, April, May, and you just block it out today, you do that right now in August, I can almost guarantee that trip will happen because you plan far enough ahead. And so oftentimes we get frustrated with our lives. They're too busy. I'm too busy. Work's too crazy. And it all just comes down to a lack of planning. So if you can plan far enough ahead, you can take 2 weeks off. You can take 3 weeks off. You can take a week off and go do, maybe that little kid thing that you always wanted to do or you used to do. Anyway, fun stuff from traveling. So the other lesson that we learned this week in K&D, it's a really interesting lesson. And, guys, I'm processing this in real time. Like, we just had this conversation yesterday with my team, but what I realized that, and I learned a little bit of this from a software company that I was talking to, but, really interesting. You have this situation where in a company, you have commercial and you have residential services. So you have kind of like B2B and then like, B2C. You're like, in a landscape business, you're working with a residential homeowner versus a commercial project manager or a commercial building manager. And what we're realizing is residential and commercial are so different. They're more different than maintenance and construction. So let me unpack that real quick. I believe it is more closely related, residential construction and residential maintenance, than residential construction and commercial construction. So oftentimes we say, well, it's all construction, right? We're installing landscapes. And if we're installing landscapes for homeowners, what's the big difference of installing landscapes for project managers and general contractors and building owners? Well, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. And sometimes we try to combine things because they're in the same asset class, right? So let's combine all of construction, and let's combine all of maintenance. Let's combine all of water management. Let's combine all of this. But what we're finding out is that sometimes you need to combine things based on the customer, because when you're targeting advertising at the top of the funnel, it's a lot easier to target homeowners for both construction and maintenance than it is to target homeowners and general contractors for construction. Now, this is kind of hard to explain. I don't know if I'm doing a good job. Hopefully you guys are following along. If not, it's my fault. But the idea here is that when you target an ideal customer profile, you can sell them a multitude of offerings, right? You can sell them an installation. You can sell them a pool service. You can sell them a landscape maintenance. You can sell them maybe a cleaning or some other type of service on their home. When you're selling a property owner an installation, you can also sell them the aftercare, the maintenance thereafter. You can also sell them the water management. So just a really interesting thing to think about as you guys go through your planning and processing of how to organize your company. What we're finding out is from a marketing perspective and also from an operations perspective, it's really hard to combine commercial and residential into the same bucket when you're doing different tasks. So I just think that's an interesting take. We learned it a little bit this week. We've reshifted some of our focus around how we're managing commercial and residential on the installation side specifically. So if you're a landscape company or a service company or trades company out there and you service both residential and commercial, I would just say, first off, if you can, pick a lane, focus on one. And if you can't do that for whatever reason, then maybe create a director level in your company, or at least leaders of commercial and a leader of residential versus a leader of construction and a leader of maintenance. Now at scale, multi-state, multi-branch, multi-region, it changes a little bit, but I'm kind of talking to those more like regional businesses that have 1, 2, 3 branches. It might be better to have a director of commercial services and then a director of residential services rather than a director of construction and director of maintenance. So I'll leave you with that. And hopefully that helps you guys as you work through organizing your companies and building those out. Other than that, look, we talked about where we're going to be, the events coming up, talked a little bit about travel, talked a little bit about organizing a company. That's going to be it for this weekly update. We're going to continue to do these every Friday. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Keep grinding, keep doing your thing, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Trades Talk, where the next generation of disruptors comes to raise the bar. If you got value from today's episode, share it with someone in the trades who's ready to level up. For more tools, insights, and community, follow host Justin White and join the movement at jwhitegroup.com.